Hey guys, Level Cap here, and welcome to Devlog number 24 for a spaceship game that I'm making in the Unreal Engine with my buddy Rich and a bunch of help from the community at this point. Today, I want to show you a whole bunch of cool new concept art and how that's transitioned into a new asteroid base, along with some serious planning that we've had to do around the AI systems. Now, if you've been keeping up with our devlog, you'll know that we work with a concept artist named Island who has drawn a whole bunch of cool concepts that have already made it into the game. He helped us dial in the look for our navigational beacons that are in the game, and now he's helping us develop a new asteroid base look. My very first asteroid base looked just like this right here. Kind of a simplistic, small potato-shaped asteroid, and we needed something bigger, much more impressive looking, with a cooler interior. So here's my little vision board for concept art. This is a program called PureRef. It's like $5, and it's great for throwing up images, and I think the latest version supports videos as well. And these ones are done by Island. It started off looking at the overall asteroid base concept from the exterior, cutting into the bases in interesting ways, showing different ways of attaching and drilling into with man-made structures and cavities. This base down here is kind of interesting, where most of the commerce and traffic happens on the exterior of the base, which is a cool idea that I want to explore a bit further down the road. This one here I like a lot because it's just cut right in half. And then kind of these two bases here ended up being the primary inspiration for what we're working on right now. I then gave that concept art over to John Lagostini, who's developed the Asteroid workflow for our game, and he helped develop a special cutout method, which we're finally dialing in right now. The cut in method for the asteroid it wasn't super simple to develop. He went through many different phases of trying to get it to look right. And this is kind of where we are right now. I think we still have a little bit of texturing update work to do. And then in game, you can see here, we've got a material applied to it. Again, some of this is not final, but it's looking much closer. The lights fade out as I get further away. And you can kind of see the asteroid base in game. And I gave it a lot of depth there so that we can see it on approach when you're approaching it with your spaceship. We also have the interior of the base. And admittedly, this is where a lot of my effort has been going for the past several weeks, working on lighting, atmospherics, texturing, modeling new assets for it. It's been a lot of work, but a lot of fun. Looking at the workflow, this here is the concept art from Island for an end cap, and it was a little wider than I needed, but here it is in game. I cut off a little chunk of it. With the atmospheric, some texturing, there's still some gray box in there, but I'm pretty happy with the look of it. It's a fun end piece for a hallway. This here is Island's concept for a in-wall cargo hangar, cargo drop. We need a mechanic in game for players to be able to drop cargo somewhere. And so I took his concept and widened it out a little bit just to fit the space a little better, or fit the gameplay rather a little bit more how I envisioned it. And I'm really liking this. It's got some nice lighting. So it plays with the volumetrics in a really fun way. Not totally done, still more gray box stuff there, but I'm happy with the feel right now. Then I also began work on a habitation unit, basically a spot for people to live, stay. I thought it would be neat to have some flickering windows, and the little elevator on the side is going to be a really fun addition, which I haven't added yet. This guy is still gray box with some decal work on top, as I'm waiting for sort of a new smart material that John Lagostini is developing for us. Now I'll show you what it kind of looks like to approach this more updated asteroid base and fly through it. Also, a huge element of selling the whole reality of this base is the soundscape for it. And so as we enter the base, you'll notice a new sound. So sort of I wanted to conceive of an alarm system that let people know a ship was entering the base, but I also wanted it to sound kind of weird and alien. So Panzer V1 has been creating all the sound effects for the interior of the asteroid base. He's done the fun background sound effects as well, which is the ambiance. We're going to have some location-based ambiance for like generators and stuff like that. And then we also have sort of the comms, the voiceover stuff that comes on the speakers every now and then as if it's an active flight bay and communication needs to happen. So aside from further refining the visuals and the audioscape for this, animation, more light blinking, elevators moving up and down, and potentially other NPC ships flying through, docking, and then moving on will really breathe a lot of life into this station and make it feel like it's a real hub for military activity and or commerce around that. So while I've been focusing primarily on art assets, Rich has been delving into our AI systems and just how complicated it actually can be. I'll let him explain it.
Back in Devlog number 7, I talked about building an AI that could pilot a ship around some asteroids using something called a nav mesh. So we have a solution to tell us the shortest path in order to get to a certain point. But the AI was taking the path really slowly, just one node at a time, going from one node to the next and stopping, looking at the next node, going to the next node and stopping, and so forth. It was very slow. We want a small maneuverable ship to be able to get through this asteroid field quickly. There are some basic plugins available out there, but nothing really that meets our needs. We have kind of a unique system where ships will have an RCS system as well as the main rockets in the back, or could have extra main rockets pointed to the sides or main rockets in the front for better braking. And we also have this boost system that can do various things. So a ship has many options it can use to navigate through an asteroid field quickly. Building an AI that knows how to use those options well is going to be a real challenge. The AI is going to have to know when to put on the brakes, when to turn. So one of the big decisions we need to figure out is, do we want the AI to know how to use physical thrust forces, or do we want to use a kinematic system? With the physical thrust system, in one frame, you could add force to the ship in one direction, a certain amount of force. And then the physics system would take over, and all the rest of the frames, the physics system would glide the ship through space. But in the kinematic system, every single frame, we're actually telling it how much to move and in which direction. So we're keeping track of the velocity and things like that. We do have the advantage that we're not using gravity, so that's one less reason to use the physics system. But we also want ships to be able to bounce off things, bounce off each other, have missiles, explosions, buffet the ships around, have a little chaos. We think that'll be fun. The physics system is going to make that easier. We could do that with kinematics, but basically with kinematics, we're writing our own physics system a little bit. So one potential option is we use kinematics to fly the AI ships around, and then as soon as something hits that ship, we flip it back to the physics engine and let it bounce around a bit. Maybe we give it a second, and then let's say that the pilot regains control and we turn the kinematic system back on so it flies around again with the kinematics instead of the physics. Give it a second or two, and then say the pilot regains control. We switch it back to kinematics instead of the physics engine. Regardless of whether we use kinematics or the physics engine, we're probably going to still need to be able to look ahead on the nav path and see maybe 2 or 3 steps ahead to decide when to start turning, when to start braking, that sort of thing. And that's going to still be pretty complicated. There may be some compromise on the way, but really fun and exciting challenge, and we'll see how it goes.
So AI seems like it's going to be a challenging point of development, but hopefully we can make some good progress over the next few weeks. I'll be working on hopefully a dynamic damage system. I found some good tutorials on it, but it looks fairly complex. And getting some more advanced materials into the game, along with trying to finish up the asteroid base and move on to other asset design at the same time. I hope you guys enjoyed this devlog. Check us out on Discord. I'll leave a link for that in the video description. There you can follow us along and see the questions we're asking and the people that are helping us over there. It's a fun way to sort of collaborate and hang out and just have conversations about game dev. Also, if you want to learn a little bit more about what our spaceship game is, you can check out the video right here. That's sort of a overall design plan for the game. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. This is Level Cap signing off.